Okay, so welcome to the Perfect Marketing module, which is an add-on module. So it's something you additionally purchase for Perfects, and this brings through marketing automation. What's great is that this marketing module allows you to send sequences of emails, SMSs, or emails and SMSs to both leads and customers that you have in your database. And it's really quite simple to use. As you can see, once you've added it on and you've done all of the connections behind the scenes that you need to, and you then add it to whoever's role, whatever users you'd like to have the functionality to see it, it will then open up and they would have what's called the marketing automation module on their menu. It opens up on a dashboard and immediately it tells you what leads have come through, have been created this month or possibly this year, depending on what you put your funnel settings on. And it also tells you what leads have converted to customers in that same time period. And it goes ahead to tell you the statuses on forms and emails that have sent through. So I'm going to start by running through each of these sections, and then we're going to actually just set up an email. Okay, so let's start at the bottom with settings. So there are general settings. The first one would be, does your lead require a telephone number? In this case, I'm going to say no. Your settings are set to no. Then also every single element of the marketing automation channel needs actually to be categorized. So I would suggest that you set up a category for every segment, campaign, channel, point stage, email template, email or SMS template, and you name those categories according to either the industries that you are targeting. So for example, hospitalities, restaurants, legal, attorneys, accountants, and so forth, because that would be most easiest, and set up those categories first. Then you can go ahead and you can create email templates that you'll use for that, and SMS templates that you'll use within the marketing campaigns that you'll set up. So at the end of the day, in order to send a marketing campaign, which is a sequence of marketing activity out to different leads and customers, you need to set up a campaign which consists of emails and SMSs that will automatically trigger based upon what instructions you've set in there. And how will we decide and get in those leads and customers into those systems is that we'll do that through segments. So segments is a section where we can create a segment based upon a specific part of a lead's or a part of the customers that we have based on specific criteria that's linked to it, but we'll get there. Okay, so let's just continue going through settings. So firstly, we create our categories. Everything needs a category, so you create a category for a segment, a campaign, an email template, a normal email, a SMS template, an asset, a form, point of action, all around the segment that you're sending to. So like we said, hospitals, hospitality, industry, restaurants, event managers, accountants, lawyers, depending on what that category is about. Then we could create an email template. So we'll have various templates. The system automatically has some that you can start with, and my suggestion would be is that you edit one of these templates, you rename it, you add it to the category you want. When it says published, while you're still working on things, say no, because the second you say yes, if it's published and it's active in a campaign, it will automatically go out. So for now we say no until we're ready to activate everything together. So what's important about a template, and why I say you should use one of the existing ones that's already sort of set by default in the system, is because you can change the design of this template. So firstly, you always go in and you decide what language this template will be created in, one. And then two, you click on the button design so that you can actually change things in the design. So by clicking on the different elements within the actual template, you can see that they light up, and you can specify then what are the URLs that you'll put it into. You could change this picture. I've just clicked on this box here. So now if I look further down in this box as it's opened up, we can do things like we can change what the words are or the picture behind it. We can actually just change that as well. We can remove it and replace it with an image we want to. We can change the logo at the top, and most importantly, at the bottom of most of our templated emails, you would want to change the social media links, the email addresses, and you might want to change the different color schemes to suit that of your companies. Okay, you can also merge in customer specific information, whether it's from the lead section. So if it's a lead template that you're working on, let's say it's one of a few templates that will go out in a campaign to leads, by just inserting, copying over the name and inserting it in a block here, you can personalize this information, and you can just paste it there. Remove the formatting, no problem. And then you can see now it will say hello, and it will say that lead's first name there. Hello Alice, hello Ben, hello Thomas, hello John, and it will personalize that information. So whether it's when it's a leads campaign and you're working on a lead, you take it from this side. Whether it's their first name, the company that you want to specify there, the country, you can specify that there. You can see all of the variables you can add in. However, if it's a customer campaign, then you take the contact from the first, contact first name, contact last name, because this is customer information. And you'll know that from PERFEX because you keep your leads information and customer information separate. So once you've got the template of an email that you're happy with, you save it. And now maybe you'd like to also create an SMS template that you're happy with. As you can see, I'm just going to open up. I'm going to edit one so you can see it. We've got one over there. We've saved a name to it. We've created it here. Design, hi. Again, same thing. Merge fields are available on the right side for the client. On the right side for the lead. On the left side for the client coming from your actual customer base. Hi Tom, hi Jan, hi Bridget. We've got a fantastic deal on carpet cleaning, for example. Give us a call and we'll let you know. So that's an SMS that you framed out now. If this SMS, as it gets used and so forth, the stats will feed through in terms of how its performance was in the templates as well. So going back to that, you have email templates, you have SMS templates. These are templated out, and it means that you don't have to redesign them again. So you can automatically have your social media links, and you can also see the statistics around how this template has performed over time in it. Okay, what else do we have in settings? In settings we have email configuration as well. So this is where we decide whether or not we'll switch on the unsubscribe button to appear at the bottom of your emails, and yes, that's what we'll do here, as well as this would be the text that they see for unsubscribing, X, and that would usually just be unsubscribe. Okay, if they want to unsubscribe, and then we have the option of sending the emails either from the normal SMP default email address that is in the system, or sending it from a different email address. So for example, if you have a specific email address that you just want to bring in the marketing stuff from, then you would fill in the SMP details for that over here. We don't need to set limits because our servers are big enough to handle whatever limits we've got coming through. So that is what settings is about. The only thing relevant in the long run here is category, email templates, and SMS templates. So let's go have a look next at what is segments. Segments is actually how we create the groupings that we will be sending out information to. So for example, if we had a test section and we categorize it as test, and we said no, it's not a public section, no, don't publish it yet because we don't think to go live. It comes through, and then we go and we look at, okay, what are the filters that we need to set up? We actually didn't set up filtering here. Give me 1 second to go back. Okay, so once we actually name it, and before we click save, we go and we click filters. So this is how we create a segment of leads or customers that we're actually going to be sending this campaign to. So if it's a lead, we have the option of saying it's a lead with, for example, a tag that is equal to, let's say, carpet cleaning. So what we mean here is these are all the leads who possibly could do carpet cleaning with, or let's say it's a lead, it's a restaurant. So this is all the leads carrying the lead restaurant, or possibly hotel or B&B, you know, the sector that we're targeting. So if you've just got a list of companies that you'd like to approach, I would suggest that you create your segments and your tags in your system according to what sector they're in, so that you can decide to send one campaign of emails to everybody who's possibly in the restaurant industry, because in that email and those sequence of emails there will be specific things that you want to talk about that's relevant to them. This plus sign simply means that you can now actually be more specific. So not only can they carry that tag, but you also possibly might want to get anybody who's either in a lead status of not contacted, right? Or it could be maybe you've contacted them and they declined the quote or something. So you could set a multi-level filter on a lead or on a customer filter, whereas you could identify a lead who carries a certain tag, restaurant, hospitality, hospitals, investment bankers, lawyers, accountants, have a certain status for their lead status, as in contacted, not contacted, old customer, or possibly they come from a certain source. Okay, so maybe they came from your website, for example, and then you simply save that, and that's how you've created a segment. Once you do that, the leads or the customers will actually fill out here, as well as you will now see what is the actual filter system segmentation you've created. I just want to go back to one of the existing segments so that you can see how this works. Have a look over here. Now you can see specifically the segment that's come through. So this is how you can make sure that you've pulled through the right set of leads or customers that you wanted to target into this segment. Okay? The next thing that you need to know is that the section where components are called is holding either your assets. So what are assets when it comes to email marketing automation? Assets are things like videos, zip files, images that you would add in here, and you would categorize them and you'd say whether or not they're published. And that simply means whether or not they can be used in email campaigns. So for example, if you had a series of pictures of products, you'd come in here, you'd name it, you'd add it on, and you can say whether or not you'd like to give it a point or not, and I'll explain a bit later on what that means. And you would then, for example, attach that image here of that specific product or service that you're looking for, and you see how it goes through, and you can just add it from your folder, from your PC, and click save. It needs an attachment. Okay, I'll give it an attachment. There we go. We've added something. Now we have an asset. Awesome. Things you want to know is the second you have an asset, which is that specific image or a file or something, the system automatically tracks how many times someone has clicked on it. So that's also a great thing to know, that it will track how many times it's actually been used. Let's go back and look at what is forms about. So there's actually two ways that you can get leads into the marketing automation system that you can send. Either they can come through your lead system, or you can mail customers, or they can come through a form. Okay, so very similar to how we have quote requests or estimate requests, as we call them. You can have a form that you create in your marketing automation section, and when someone fills in that form, we automatically then pick it up, say how it will be marked on our system, who will be notified specifically, okay, we go ahead and we create the form. So here we can actually control what it looks like, and it could be something as simple as, hey, would you like to find out more about our specials? Keep in touch. Form will be set up here, and it says maybe send me info. Subscribe for specials. You save that. And now we take this code and we actually insert it onto a space, onto a website page, or we can actually just send the link out and then people can subscribe and hear about our specials, and that would actually mean that they would automatically be added into our actual leads database as a source being emailed with the status of this, and this person would be alerted so that we actually can get them in as leads. So that's what forms is about. Okay, then we have campaigns. Everything that we do in terms of setting up a marketing automation sequence comes ultimately down to campaigns, which is where we go and we actually create a sequence. So we just start off by saving it. Remember, in the beginning, don't publish it, so that you can go ahead and you can actually create your sequence of marketing events, of emails and SMSs that will go out. Okay, and then automatically when you are here, what will happen is you'll click on Builder and you'll firstly start the flow. You always start the flow first, and you say, and the system will ask you, is this about a lead or a customer? And you say, okay, the data in will be from the customer section. It will want to know what segment do you want, like how will we find the segment. It's actually easier to work on the lead side right now. It will be from the lead section, and we'll say, oh, it will be the segment called test. Okay, great. And then you are thinking, the system's asking basically, what do you want to happen now? Now you're going to say, select this segment. Now we're going to say, send it an email. So you simply click on the element that you want to add next and you drag it over. And now we connect the two. Click on your keyboard and hold it on and connect it. And then you say, either right away, once you select the segment, or after 5 minutes of selecting the segment, send email warmer 1. Remember, this would be an email that we created, and the system will do that immediately. Then the second we send this email, we may now want to do something like update the status. So now we chose the wrong one. Now we create an action. Now we want to update the status on the account. So no longer is it possibly not contacted. We just want to make sure that now the system knows that you should now change the stages, change the lead status, thank you, to contacted. Contacted, no response, no, or awaiting feedback, you've contacted, or you're changing it to marketing, or whatever you wanted to do, contacted, there we go. So you just want to tell your system, okay, now when you look at leads, make sure that all the customers who are from the test database, because I'm putting them in this flow and I've sent them this first email, change the status to contacted, okay? And now we can do something like we can add in conditions. So what does that mean? That means that we can say, we can do different things depending on what has happened with that email. So I open this up. So we can firstly say, if the email connected to, if the email was opened after 1 day, send a SMS. So I'm simply dragging over the button, and I can say, because I've already clicked a timeline between, I'm going to say after 1 day, send a SMS. And oh, did I not create a SMS yet? Well, the SMS won't be here if I haven't created it. So that's also the other thing. I'm going to click save for a second. I'm going to go and create an SMS. And then I'm going to come back under channels. Have I not created a SMS? Ah, there's no SMS created. Test SMS, category test, publish, no. Oh, excuse me, published, yes. Oh, did I add a language? I think I might not have done that, eh? Nothing I want to change or merge in, no. Happy with that template. Going back to my campaign. There we go. I just needed to pick a new block because it didn't pull through with the previous block. Okay, so there I've got an SMS. So what I'm saying is anybody who's opened it after 1 day, send them an SMS, and I'm going to add another condition for everybody else. Which means everybody that's delivered, we're going to add after, slip that up a bit. After 3 days or 4 days, let's say that we send another email. And now we select which other email we've created that we want to send. And that could be, well, it's all the same email right now, but I mean, you just have to create more templates. and then you just go ahead and you add more emails, more SMSs, more conditions to help sort of add in a smarter flow of how exactly you'll be contacting or reaching your customer. So basically what you're saying, let me just activate the folder and I can just make it a bit neater for a sec. In this campaign, we've decided multiple actions, right? We have started the flow with leads, picked our segment, then we've picked our action, and we've picked from our list of emails that we did create. Remember, we could either have created the email under email templates, which is under settings, or we've just written an email free format under channels. That email will appear here. We select it off, and then what we're saying is after that, change the status of the lead to contacted. If it's open, if somebody's opened that email, let's actually send a SMS to them as well. Okay, so we might have, when they clicked on the link, they might have gone somewhere additional and said, oh, I've looked at the product, it's quite interesting. So maybe the SMS that we send them will be something like, here's a 10% discount on it, or something like that, just to encourage them more, sort of know, like, and trust us. And at the same time, we send up another condition for 4 days later, which is all emails delivered, which still carry a delivered status, to send another specific email that we'll send to them. And you can go ahead and you can add more conditions, more SMSs and emails, and the sequence could just go on and on and on. Okay, and you can clearly see here, as the campaign runs, you'll see what actions were taken, the SMSs and emails sent out. You'll see the stats around how the email is performing and the messages are performing, what emails have failed, what have just delivered, what have been read, what's been clicked on. Okay, and for your SMSs over time, you'll see who are the leads you've specifically sent it to, or the customers, and you can click on this button and actually test the campaign, and this is where you'd insert your own information. Okay, let's go on. Under campaign, we have channels, which is where you could go and just write a email or an SMS without creating an entire template around it. Who will it be from? By default, it will be from the people that you've inserted. You can say the from name, the from email address, the reply. I would suggest that you just fill in your standard emails. You leave this actually blank. You can write the from name if you want. If there will be any attachments, you can attach it there, and then you just save. And now you add a language. Always have to add a language. And then the design will open up for you, and you can now design an email from scratch, and yeah, immediately then just send to that. Alright, so you can design, you can type whatever you'd like to type, save it, and you obviously will see the stats on how it's performed over time. The same applies if you go under SMS. You can send various SMSs. I'll just open up one we've got here ready to show you the SMSs available. And then you've got points and stages. So marketing automation can be quite sophisticated. You can give all actions that happen in a sequence, an email sequence, points. Okay, and the reason you do that is because at some point you'd want to do additional actions depending on how many points there is on a lead or a customer. So you'd name what the point is for, you'd select the category it's in, and then you'd say if somebody downloads an asset, give them a point. If they open the email, give them a point. If they submit a form, give them a point. Because at some point you'd want possibly that category of point holders to have some specific action with them. And this is where you'd be able to do it from. Further down the line also, you might want to set up stages. So as we know, I mean, in marketing, typically people only buy from people they know, like, and trust. Hence why you're sending out sequences of emails or SMSs to help gain trust, help to get them to know you so that they would hopefully eventually buy from you. Okay, and you'd set up stages in terms of that. So usually there'd be a warm-up stage, maybe a get to know you stage, and each one of those stages would also have a weight attached to them. Now again, the reason why you're adding stages and you're adding weights to those stages is because when people are at specific stages and you've got a specific point acquired there, you might want to specifically target customers who carry a certain amount of points or who are at a certain stage of their emails, of their journey with you. Okay, so points and stages is not necessarily something you'd use on an everyday basis, and it's also something more a more sophisticated marketing department would use. Then you have your report section. That's pretty standard, where we can go into detailed reports on the campaigns, the emails, or the SMSs that has gone through. So let's just have a look. Here you can see the email stats and SMS stats overall for a campaign. Back to report list. Here you can dive down a bit deeper into actually an email in terms of what is read, delivered, and clicked on, and here you can see download the specifics. So you could actually just pull on a full list and you can actually see what's been delivered, what hasn't been delivered, what's opened and clicked, and the same can be said for the SMSs and so forth. And then that brings us back to the settings module, as well as your dashboard module overall, which your dashboard section, which shows you what's worked overhand. So just to recap, firstly, start in settings, create categories according to the segments you're targeting, like we said, hospitality, restaurants, lawyers, accounting, and then create every single type create in that segment. So you'd have, for example, legal segment, legal campaign, legal email template, legal email, legal. So it's just the category, or hospitality, restaurants, assets, reset forms, and SMSs, so that it is there when you actually try and build your email. Because the first thing that's going to happen is when you have an email template you want to create, it's going to ask you to what category does this email template belong. Okay, same thing with when you try and set up a campaign, a component, a segment, it's going to ask you what category it belongs to. Then go ahead and set up some emails and SMSs that you have that would be very generic, and update them with your company details at the bottom correctly. Change the images and the colors, the brand coloring to align to that of your company, so that you can, as best as possible, have a great template out there that you want to actually send to your clients that you can use. And then you go ahead and you do the same for SMS templates. So you can therefore add SMS templates as well, so that you have already everything that you need that's going to go into that campaign. Now you go and you create a segment, which is actually where you go and you say, I'm going to create and target leads who have a specific position, or leads who have maybe a specific tag on them, lead source, maybe they're from a specific city. Or I'm going to target customers who are part of a specific group, maybe, or they're part, they speak a certain language or in a certain city. So you can build by using plus buttons. You can build more specifically out your filter, so therefore you could pick, you know, everybody that is in a certain group customer wise that's in a certain state. And then once you've got both your emails and your segments created, you then go and you create your campaign. If you've already created one campaign that you like, you can clone that campaign by clicking clone and renaming it, and you can say clone, and therefore you'll see it will load automatically with the exact same flow that you wanted, and emails and actions, and you can just change it as you see fit to different emails, different actions to suit sort of how you want to make that change. And don't forget to save before you make those changes. And then it will show you also any summary on the actions, the stats around how this campaign's performed, and you can send your test mail out as well. Yeah, so if you change anything, it will open up. You have to open it up to change it, and then you can just make whatever changes you want, save it, and now suddenly you've got the campaign that you had before, but with that slight change that you wanted, and now you can run it against a different segment. Okay, so it's pretty easy at the end of the day, but it's a lot of prep work that goes into it, getting your segments ready, getting your emails ready, whether they're in channel or you're actually using your email templates. I definitely say set up at least one template, and then you go ahead and you put together your campaign. Enjoy, and remember, if you need any help or you'd like a demo, contact us at Success by Design. Thank you.